Good evening, black people and all allies fighting for black liberation, black prosperity, and black joy. I'm Charles Blow, and welcome to Prime. Just one day after President Biden went to Tulsa to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the massacre there, he visited with people who were calling for reparations. A new report says that he may not ultimately push for congressional actions on reparations at all. Politico is reporting today that Biden has privately told lawmakers not to expect much on reparations legislation. Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence, who is the #2 vice chair of the Congressional Black Caucus and who Biden met with after his speech yesterday, is quoted in Politico saying, "He didn't disagree with what we're doing. He did talk about his plate being full with trying to get the infrastructure bill passed, and that he really wanted to make sure that he could get that through before he took anything else." This is the problem to me. Putting blue collars over black lives, putting green futures over a black now. That never works. When black people are told to say, it's not appropriate right now, it's not the right time, we'll get to your concerns later, let me do this other, more important thing, it never, ever works out for black people. Attendees at the Tulsa commemoration noted that although Biden had supported a commission to study reparations as a presidential candidate, he never actually ever mentioned reparations in his prepared remarks yesterday. And now they're wondering what that means for future action. Joining me to discuss is senior writer at The Root, the amazing Michael Harriot. Michael, what do you make of Biden's comments in Tulsa yesterday?
So I think, there are two schools of thought, and I think you have to acknowledge both of them, right? So on one hand, compared to the previous president and compared to all other presidents, he said a lot by acknowledging the harm and the pain and the racism that America has inflicted upon black people. He said more than probably any other president. That is a good thing. And it wasn't enough, right? So he can, words are good, and some of the time we have to get to that point because white people have never heard those words come out of another white person, much less a president's mouth. So it is a step in the right direction, but it still wasn't enough. Both things can be true, right? So he has to not just say words, but put forth a plan, a real concrete, absolute plan to get towards equity for black people and addressing some of the stuff that he said in those words.
But see, I get that point. You and I both do language. We know how important language is and how powerful it can be. However, you get the feeling that language is being used as a substitute for action, not as a precursor for action in these cases. When someone tells you, I want to make sure that I get the infrastructure plan first, I can't take anything else on because I'm working on infrastructure. I get that generally speaking, but black people have been at that spot before. Booker T. Washington told us, don't worry about the voting right now. Let's worry about the jobs right now. We'll figure that out later. And how did that turn out for us? Horribly. I feel like that is kind of the feeling that I keep getting from the Biden administration, and I'm waiting for them to say, we're going to put our full weight behind something that black people care about most. Not that helps everybody, that all boats rise because of it, but that black people care about most. Do you feel like that he's putting anything that black people care about most at the top of his legislative agenda?
I don't think so. I think you have to, as I said before, and as you just said, right? So just sometimes I think he feels like just acknowledging what America has done. Like if America is used to having a liar and a racist as president, and we are, then the fact that somebody says the truth is kind of a revolutionary act, but it still ain't enough for black people, right? So he has to, and I always feel like this idea of this race neutral policy that a rising tide lifts all boats it leaves black people behind, because we know what will happen if, instead of addressing racial equity, you address poverty, you address all citizens. Those people who won't be left behind, white people, poor white people, working class white people, we know that they're going to use their position to further oppress black people. So I don't think that you can have a swim team that with one person chained to the starting gate and say, oh, as long as everybody else can swim, we'll be fine. You have to get that first person unchained. And America has chained us down with its policies, with its actions in economics, in politics. And it is his job to undo that chain before he teaches or he makes that rising tide lift all of those boats. And I think that's what he has to do.
See, I completely agree with that. I mean, but I keep thinking, like, if not this president, then who? I did an analysis of like the exit polls when Barack Obama won the first time. By my analysis, even if every black person had stayed home in 2008, Barack Obama would still be the president of the United States. The black people added to the cushion, but they were not determinative in that race. There is no way that Biden would be president without black people. He wouldn't have even made it through the primaries without black people. And even he is saying, yes, 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 but let me get these blue collar guys in the Midwest first, right? Even he's saying, let me work on infrastructure bill first, and then we'll get around to your thing if I survive the midterms with the same control of the House and Senate, because that may be upset in 2010, and we will never get to reparations. And that is the part that always, that worries me, that upsets me. They tell you to wait, knowing that the window is closing every day that you wait.
Right, and I think we focus on the presidency so much, but with this split in the Senate, that is because of black people too. Like if not for what black people did, black women did in Georgia specifically, we wouldn't even have a chance of passing any of this legislation. So all those white people that got those stimulus checks, they wouldn't have gotten them without what those black women did in Georgia, right? And so it's not like, just because we elected a president, it's the power of the entire Democratic Party. They have power because of the work that black people put in. And they have to acknowledge that, well, not by helping all of the lower class and the working class and the economically disadvantaged people. They got to help black people, because working class white people didn't vote for them. Working class white people didn't give them that power. And politics is nothing but an exchange of power. And so black people historically and now are the only people and the only group demographically that don't get to participate in that exchange, because when they get that power, they give it to white people, they give it to the working class, they give it to the people that never support them politically. And I think it's time for that to change.
So what do you think that black people should expect from the Biden administration? I mean, he seems to be kind of pushing off a lot of the toughest jobs, the things that are likely to not work, onto the vice president. The voting rights has run into a sticky point. You take over that. Immigration, nobody's figured that out in 30 years. You take over that. What can we expect? What is the concrete, actionable things that black people should be able to expect from the Biden administration?
Well, I think with this intraction in Congress, right, with this stagnation, we should, first of all, we should expect the same thing that anybody who supports the president or anybody who supports their congressman should expect, right? It's past time for black people to be lowering their expectations and waiting behind all of the other people who didn't do the things that we did. So we should expect what any voter should expect. We put people in power, we should get something back for that. And I think one of the things that Biden should do is do what Trump did, right? He used the power of the presidency for white people, right? He used that executive authority, and he used that bully pulpit, and he used every constitutional and sometimes unconstitutional. He did things that were unconstitutional and say, hey, look, see me in the Supreme Court if you don't want it to happen. Why can't Biden, why can't the Democrats do that for black people who put them in power? Because, Biden is still undoing some of the stuff that Trump did. This housing, the proclamation that he made yesterday with HUD, that is just trying to undo the stuff that Trump did, and it is hard to undo. And if he did that for black people, at least we might have 5, 6, 8 years of somebody trying to undo it to see what it's like. And it's just like healthcare reform, right? Once you go forward, you can't roll it back. It's hard to give people something and take it back. So we just wish that Trump, the Democratic Party, will do the things for black people that the Republican Party does for white people. That's all we want, a fair exchange. That is how politics works.
So, Michael, I just want to ask you this question about, what do you think about, states and individual organizations and cities moving forward with granting some form of reparations, even while the federal government is not making any movement on this at all? What do you think about that?
I think it's a good thing to see. It sets a precedent, right? But the power, most of our tax money comes from the federal government. It goes to the federal government, and the federal government, this entire country as a whole, is the entity that benefited from the labor, from the sweat of black people. And I often have to point this out, not just with slavery, right? But from the 1865 until now, right, black people have paid money into the federal system that have not been returned to them. We have invested in this country tax dollars and labor that have not been returned to us. They used our money, our tax dollars in the 60s to invest in white schools, to build white schools, and we didn't get to go to those schools. And so it is time for the federal government to return that. And it is cool when states do it. It's cool when local entities do it. It's cool when colleges do it. But black people as a whole have built the coffers that fund all of these white experimental projects that go to Kansas and white farmers and business startups. And it's time for black people to be compensated for their investment.
I agree with that, Michael. And as for Biden, he's saying the right words, and that's good. But when you're starving, you will cheer for crumbs. But crumbs won't make you full. Black people need a seat at the table. They need to make a space for black people at the table to get the full addressing of their needs. And that's just the way it is. Michael Harriot, thank you so much for joining me tonight.